Hi everybody, it's Sarah with House Copper. Today I'm just going to do a quick video. I know I've done some on stainless steel and tin lining copper pots, but because I've had actually two pieces come in the past week from people who want me to retin things only for me to discover they're actually aluminum lined pots instead of tin, I thought I would kind of give a tutorial on how to know what to look for. If you're thinking, oh, this needs to be retinned, and then you find out if you send it to someone like me and we go, I'm sorry, you just shipped something to me that is not retinnable. So first and foremost, which this is hard to kind of explain unless you're used to handling a lot of copper, but the weight is your dead giveaway if your piece is actually lined with aluminum. This is lined with aluminum. It is I know I'm strong, but like this is like a few ounces. This is probably not even a pound. And a true saucepan of this size, this is a good, looks like a good at least 8-inch, maybe 9-inch saucepan, would have at least over a pound of copper if this was real, because it looks like it's at least 2 millimeters thick. So it's pretty thick in terms of wall width. And it looks sort of like, oh, it's tin and there's spots and it needs to be retinned. But actually what this is aluminum that is pitted from use. And it's got a copper-like shell that's been pressed to the dimensions of the aluminum piece on the inside. So actually what it is it's actually aluminum cookware that has a shell of copper on the outside. Now, aluminum is also a non-ferrous metal. It does not have iron in it, so it does transfer heat relatively quickly, but aluminum does not bond to copper, not in the way that like tin does, where they are exchanging electrons. Aluminum and copper don't do that unless you have a oxygen-free vacuum where you can sort of combine them and solder them together, but it's really hard to have a fire to do any type of melting and smelting with no oxygen. So that's why you don't actually see the aluminum and the copper exchanging electrons and bonding on that kind of a level as you do with tin and silver and copper. So one way to tell, if you can't tell from the weight and you're still looking at something like this and you go, I think this just needs new tin lining. One dead giveaway obviously is if the inside is uniform, but as you can tell, even this almost looks like it had wiped in tin at some point. So it's like, oh look, the tin wiping is coming undone and it needs to be redone. This looks like new tin is needed, right? Another way that you need to check, and this is something that I actually just showed Liz, my assistant. She was like, oh my gosh, it took her a hot second to see it, but if you look really closely, I'm gonna hope we can do this on here. There we go, maybe. It almost looks like, oh yeah, look, like the tin was right along the edge, but actually if you look really close, you can see the really thin copper-like piece on the outside. There's actually a seam. I can even get my fingernail under. And then this is just the aluminum insert, as it were. And so you're dealing with this thin copper outside and then an aluminum insert. So it's actually two pieces that have been pressed together with heat and pressure, and they are sitting next to each other. And still copper is it has a faster thermal expansion rate, coefficient, and then aluminum still. So this piece actually, you can see it has bubbled in the middle, like it kind of goes down and then it goes up, but the inside of this is flat, and that's because the copper exterior with time and use has heated and contracted much faster than that aluminum insert, and there's this bubble in between the two metals, and so this piece does not sit flat anymore. And that's a problem too. Obviously you want your pans to sit true. But because it has an aluminum insert and not tin lining, I can't fix it, just like those stainless pieces, because I'm actually dealing with like two completely separate pieces and metals that aren't actually bonded together in this situation. So this is just kind of like an FYI. Another really big giveaway, though this does not always work because I do see aluminum rivets with tin line copper, but if you're not sure and you think that this has an aluminum layer, another way to check is your rivets, and if they are aluminum, let's see if we can, they're usually pitted like this. And that also is usually a giveaway. Usually they will use aluminum rivets with aluminum inserts. So I hope this is helpful, and it comes in all shapes and sizes. You're like, oh, it only comes in like saucepans. This is a little measuring cup, same thing. It is an aluminum insert. It has, so you can see these dirty aluminum rivets. Let's see if we can get this to focus on them. But then also on the inside, again, it has like that dull look. You might even be fooled to think that that's tin like wiped, but again, you can see that exterior piece that's sitting with the aluminum on the inside. So I hope that's helpful for anybody who's wondering how to tell the difference. There's your visuals, and that's all. So thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate the follows and the subscriptions. Find me on Instagram and Facebook at House Copper. Let me know if you have any comments, questions, or things you want me to talk about. I will definitely try to do videos like that. Otherwise, I will see you next time.